Hello, welcome back to the Meet the Speaker studio. Here we have Chris with us. Do you want to say hi and tell us who you are and what you do, Chris?
Yeah, so my name is Chris Donnelly. I'm the founder of a company called Lottie. I co-founded it with my brother, and we also own a company called Found. In terms of what Lottie does, Lottie is the fastest growing marketplace for individuals looking to find care, and Found is the leading CRM and occupancy platform for the care home industry.
What inspired you to come into the sort of care home space in terms of, Lottie?
So effectively as a family, we'd had some really bad experiences for years. So across 4 different grandparents, we'd had 4 pretty bad experiences. And I think it led us to the belief that there shouldn't be these platforms promoting bad care, and you shouldn't be able to have operators being able to provide bad care and being known for providing good care. And I think that was the genesis. It was, let's build a platform that only represents good quality care. And that was kind of the initial idea, and we went with that. And obviously since launching a year and 3 months ago in Cliche Bedroom, it's obviously now a team of 50 people working every day just on the marketplace, because clearly there's a requirement for independent adjudicator to promote quality effectively.
So is there a way that you vet people, in particular vet companies? Because like you said, it's fairly easy to make yourself look good as a care provider, even if you're not. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we use all the hard statistics. So we'll take all the statistics from CQC and we use that as a hard stat. We'll pull all the different review sites, everything together to form an aggregated review score. So it's not perfect, but it's a view of all reviews. Then we'll have people that inspect care homes ourselves from our team. And then if we've worked with a care home group before, they bring a new home to market, we might allow that home on if it's got a good rating. So we use a variety of different sort of metrics to come up with our score. And it's called the Lottie score, which we might bring to the public. We're not sure yet. We've obviously got a lot of other stuff on at the moment. But yeah, that's the founding principle is ultimately our customer is the care seeker, and they should get the best experience in looking for care.
Yeah, it's really important. I think we often forget about that person in there, which isn't typically the person that actually needs the care. It's the family member.
Exactly.
And it's a really, really difficult decision to make, because the impact, especially like you said, you've had 4 bad experiences. After the first one, the impact of getting it wrong and how bad that is, and it's frustrating for people, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think for us, the initial point was we need to be able to stop the proliferation of faked good reviews, because if you look nowadays, everything is a good review. It's absolutely wild, and I think that from our perspective, it was just starting point 1 was providing a honest view on the market, and I think the second stage and evolution of the business is now how can we help care providers in the care homes themselves operate better? How can we help them deliver a more excellent service and actually start influencing the quality of care in the long term as well? So it's morphing and changing as startups do, but that was the initial idea.
So we've talked a lot today with different people about innovations in care, sort of low-cost innovations. Have you any ideas you can put forward to people, any things that you think can do? Obviously there's a range of challenges across the care sector, occupancy, recruitment, operational issues.
Yeah.
Have you got any ideas that you could share with our audience?
I think I'm speaking about this quite a bit at the moment, but I think the easy ones would be, if I was a care operator and I had a low budget, I would think to myself, well, ultimately I need to think about local SEO, for example, which is how do I as a business come up locally in my area for my own name, but wording and keywords around my name. And I think the easy way of doing that at low cost is just write blogs, write content every single week without fail. It will take a bit of time to kick in, but it's incredibly low cost and incredibly high yield for the business. The second is obviously social media. As a sector, care is not the most sexy or social media savvy, but the audience that the care sector are trying to sort of attract broadly, 55 to 65, they live on Facebook. Most other social media platforms that are growing, there are no older people on those platforms, and all the young people have left Facebook. So I think to myself, I'm going to market on the platforms that suit my audience, And again, it's local community content, it's some paid advertising work. I think the community stuff that a lot of our partners do is great for local marketing, and we do a lot of it with them. Obviously, comparison sites, we are one of them, but with us, you get to pay only on qualified delivery. So, it's a low-cost way of achieving an exact outcome. And then the thing that maybe it's not really cheap, and maybe it's not really low cost, but the quality of content for a lot of care providers is subpar, and especially that their audiences are now so digitally native that you might want to think, if I need to invest a bit in 360 tour or video content or better photography or a slightly enhanced website, it's going to be well spent, because if you think the audience now are natives, I think, or at least the audience now use digital for every part of their life post-COVID.
It's your new shopfront, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to come and look at the outside of the care home until they do get to that point, but
exactly.
they're going to look online, right?
And I think about the 45-year-old or the 50-year-old who right now is like working professionally, banks online, shops online, everything online. 10 years' time, that's your customer. And so they won't probably call you, they'll probably inquire digitally for everything moving forward. So I think that change is so prevalent now that you have to kind of play in that space, even if it might cost you a bit more money.
I think lots of care operators talk about word of mouth has always worked really well for me, and I was like, right, great, it does, but there's all those people that hear about you, but go on your website, go on your social media, it looks rubbish, it's not talking to them, it's not communicating good messages, it's not showing positive content, so they just don't inquire. You never know about those, right? So if you are getting high word of mouth, you probably would get a lot more if you had really good online content, as well as then potentially attracting customers that have never heard of you at all.
I think the other thing, we did mystery shopping, and obviously we operate a marketplace and a CRM, and so we got to mystery shop, hundreds of homes. It's like 68% of all inquiries aren't responded to. And if you think about that, I think it costs you so much to bring all these inquiries into the business. Like, the minimum you should do is have a very polished shop front, as it were. And so I think that, I talk about it a lot at the moment, but care homes and the care sector need to have a stronger grasp on capturing data, organising data, and responding to it properly. So I think there's a lot to be worked on, and a lot of those things are quite easy to do in silo.
Well, I mean, that potentially there's 30% out of 10 inquiries, there might be 3 inquiries sat there without a follow-up. So, go check your inbox Completely. And make sure.
I mean, we listen to hundreds of these phone calls that come through. So the wrong person will pick it up in the care home. They don't know where to log it. They write it on a post-it note. That's lost forever. Yet we've recorded it, so we're able to say, do you know that you lost this inquiry for, someone who's physically impaired but actually relatively well, who's probably going to be a long-term residential, resident. And so, it's a big thing, the lost revenue from that.
Lovely, all very interesting stuff. I think some really good tips in there. So I've got one big question for you about toast. I mean, real toast, like putting bread in the toaster and making toast. We were having a debate this morning, the 5 and a Bite team, the breakfast table, about toast. Put some butter on it, put some jam on it. 2 of my team members says, hold on, I'll stop you there. What do you mean butter and jam? I said, well, you butter and jam on top. They were like, no butter, just jam. What are you talking about? Where do you stand on this?
Butter and jam.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll butter and Nutella. I've butter with everything, to be honest with you.
Butter and peanut butter?
I'm actually allergic to nuts, so I'll have to depart
I'll let you off on that one. Lovely. Well, thank you for coming to the Meet Speaker Studio.
Thanks
Great to
very much.
speak to you, and good luck with your talk.
Thank you very much.